Hi everyone, so this is Lars here, and I am asking Gerard, the sports commentator, a few questions on two up-and-coming players we're hearing about in the news a lot, like in the Huffington Post, etc. The first one is a young kid, 14 years old, 8th grader. His name is Connor Vanover, and apparently at 14 years old, he is already close to 7'2", if not already there. Last I checked, he was 7'1". And the other one was, his name is Thon Maker, also 14 if I'm not mistaken, also an 8th grader, 7 feet tall. Both, when looking at them, I see two different players, but I'm not really sure what to expect. So Gerard, tell me about this Connor Vanover. What do you see? I mean, 14 years old, 8th grade, he's really, really, really tall. He's already making news in the Huffington Post, etc. They're filming all of his games. What do you think?
Well, his height is not the only thing that's good about him. He has a really good touch on his shot, and he can shoot from close and far. He's also proven that he can excellently use his feet. He hasn't been sitting
Well, what do you
around
mean
doing
by that, though? Excellent use his feet. I don't get that.
Well, when in sports, footwork is the key. That's why a lot of football players and baseball players and basketball players take dance classes, so that they can be light on their toes and learn how to use that balance that dancers naturally have.
So that's not just going to come naturally, like, just by being on the court more and more.
Nope, that is definitely not a natural skill. It's something that has to be trained and perfected off the court, and then used, and you see all the benefits of it on the court. It's hard to believe, but when you make those spins or those quick moves, you're doing exactly what dancers do.
So it's all about the footwork.
It is about the footwork. Holding the ball is something that everyone can do. And from a baby to an adult, we all hold things in our hand.
I'm horrible at
not
that.
hard.
That's why I would never play something like football or basketball. If we're talking about the feet, sure, I'm okay, but I don't know about that. So we got good footwork going on, but does it need work? Like, how much work are we talking
Oh,
about?
of course it needs work. Remember, he is only 14. He has a long way to go.
But if he takes one step versus everybody else, I mean...
That's true. But even now, Usain Bolt is the fastest man alive. He is not. There will be people that are faster, there will be people that are stronger, and there will be people that are taller. There will be people that will specialize in defense, and he won't be able to get around them unless he has that footwork. And if he adds that footwork into the touch on his shot, learns a little fadeaway jump shot.
What's that?
And the power moves, I'll tell you in a second, and the power moves to the basket, he'll really be able to take advantage of his height. Now, a fadeaway jump shot is, instead of moving towards the basket or up in the air, like most coaches tell you to, you're actually falling away from the basket. The hard part about this is you're losing your power, and you're losing your stability. And because you're up in the air, you might not always be squared to the basket. And that's the most important thing when you're shooting. If you try to shoot sideways, it's going to make it more difficult because your body's going to jam up and you're not going to be able to get your arm the right way to shoot. You're not going to have that 90-degree angle on it.
Well, from the videos you've seen of him so far, is he pretty good at that?
He's very good at it. You can tell that from a young age he's been taught how to shoot a basketball the proper way. There's no hitches in his shot. It's a smooth shot. The only thing is, because of his long arms, it's a long shot. When he takes the next step up into the high school ranks and the college ranks,
right,
and then to the pros, there's going to be more and more people that are his height. Right. It's going to be difficult to get off a long, slow shot. And even the people that aren't his height, that are more around the 6'4", 6'5" range, they can come from behind him. If he's, from all the videos I've seen, he's only jumping 2 or 3 inches off the ground. He's not jumping far. For the average person, we couldn't get up that high.
But is he doing what looks like necessary for right now, or are you meaning he needs to, I don't know much
For middle
about
school?
jumping, but
For middle school, he's doing exactly what's necessary.
okay.
He's building the blocks within himself and within his team to win a championship. But for taking the next step into high school or even the next step into college and pros, that's the kind of things he has to work on. He has to make sure that his shot is quick, his footwork is good, and he has to learn to play like a big man. Dirk is an excellent player. He knows how to shoot, get his shot, and we can see when the Dallas Mavericks beat the Miami Heat, he took them all the way to the championship. But that took a long time and a lot of hard work. Many people thought that he was never going to get that championship because he doesn't have the type of footwork and the type of strongman ability that a 7'2" player really needs to have. And that's what Connor Vanover needs to start developing now. He needs to get ready for that next step when he's not there yet. He has to start preparing for it now. Because if he starts learning those moves, he won't be going up against stiff competition. He can use them in games, and he's 7'2", or just about 7'2". Everyone else is far shorter than him. So if he makes a mistake, he can get the rebound. At his height and at his school right now, he can dominate the boards.
And in those videos, it certainly looks like that's exact. But hey,
Exactly.
I mean, how often do you come across a 14-year-old that's over 7 feet tall? I mean, that 14 years old, they say guys grow to they're like what, 22, 23, something. I mean, just imagine
Longer
he's
than
14. I mean, wow. So, in a quick little wrap up, short few words. Where do you see him going from here? I mean, the biggest, best schools you would see that would take him on. What do you see?
That might be one of the things where he might get caught up a little in how good he is. If he goes to a big name school, and then
For example,
a Duke or North Carolina or Ohio State, Syracuse, Michigan, Michigan State especially, any of the top schools in the country for basketball, and he only stays 1 year, he's going to have a huge learning curve when he goes into the NBA, and that's going to be really tough for him. However, if he goes to a college like Duke, which is one of my favorites because of Coach K, he knows how to teach his kids. Whether they're there for 1 year or 4 years, they come out ready. They come out as a pro. They know what they're doing. They have a plan for their NBA career and for their life afterwards. You have a lot of upstanding players that come out of Duke. If he went to a school like that and then stayed for more than 1 year, there's a reason that out of all the NBA coaches, Coach K, a college coach, was selected as the U.S. Olympic team coach. He knows what he's doing. And not just on the court. He knows what he's doing off the court too. And that's one of the most important parts about being an NBA player. You're famous. Everyone knows you. Everyone sees your face every time you make a shot. Whether it's in a replay or a live stream, they know who you are. They know who you are in the clubs, on the street. Everywhere you go, you'll be known. That's why the second you step into the NBA, you have to be ready for it. But if your game's not ready, you're going to suffer because everyone knows who you are. If you go out on the street and you have a horrible game, your team picks you first overall in the draft, not many there's one every year, but not many teams get that shot. There are a lot of busts at that number one spot. In the top three, in fact, there's a lot of busts, and you're supposed to be the franchise changer. He has to be ready for when he steps in the NBA. And the fact that that could only be 4.5, 5 years away, when he goes, after he finishes that first year in college, he has a lot of work to do to get there.
all right. Well, thanks for that. And I guess what we'll do is we'll do a second video on Thon Maker. This one went a little longer, but everyone,
All right.
sports commentator Gerard Beaudin, is that right? Gerard Beaudin on new and up-and-coming player Connor Vanover. Thank you very much.